Hi everyone, it's Alan Lepofsky here from Constellation Research. I want to go over a few news items that happened today, sort of around the same world of enterprise file sharing. Things from Box, Citrix ShareFile, and Microsoft OneDrive. Let's start with the Box announcement. What they announced today is a new series of integrations with Salesforce. So both Box and Salesforce being very strong players in the cloud environment. This is something that makes a lot of sense. And what they're doing, it's not just that you can access Box content inside Salesforce now. You've been able to do that for a while with the connector. What it is that Box content is now a available data repository in what's called Salesforce Files Connect. Salesforce Files Connect makes it seamless to access content across a variety of different sources, things that are stored in Salesforce files themselves, things that are stored in Google Drive, and things that are stored in SharePoint. And now Box will also be one of those things. So wherever you are in the Salesforce environment, it feels like you're accessing content from one place. You can search across all those different things. And what's important is the pointers that are created, the resource or the reference links. They're actual objects in the Salesforce environment, which means you can take actions on them. You can share them into chatter feeds, you can follow them, you can comment on them. All of the things that you would do with an actual object that's in Salesforce, these references back to Box content actually behave in that same way. So I think that's an important announcement. I think for customers that use both Salesforce and Box, they're going to be very happy with this new integrated capability. It's going to make it feel more seamless to their users, and it's not sort of like syncing between the two systems. It's making the two systems sort of behave as one. For developers, it's also very interesting. They've created a new Box SDK for Salesforce. So instead of having to do everything at the API layer, Box has made it easy for developers to build applications in Salesforce that leverage content stored in Box. Very interesting. Box themselves rewrote a lot of the Box and Salesforce integration that they've done using this SDK themselves. So it's sort of a good sort of practice what you preach approach. So there you go, Box and Salesforce. If you're not familiar with Salesforce Files or Salesforce Files Connect, like I was mentioning, it's sort of a universal hub inside the Salesforce environment that allows different file repositories to connect seamlessly inside Salesforce. Moving on, let's talk about Citrix ShareFile. If you're familiar with that tool, what they have announced today is really neat integration with a device I'm honestly not that familiar with. It's the Sony digital paper. It's a tablet that is flexible and operates, almost seamlessly, almost exactly like you would with real physical paper. You can mark up and annotate on it. You can flex the paper to move backwards or forwards. Lots of really interesting things there. I'm actually going to find out a little bit more about those tablets. But what today's announcement is that the information that you create or the content that you create on these tablets, if you're in the legal industry or if you're in education and you're taking notes or transcribing meeting minutes or any of the things that the Sony digital paper is being used for, that information can now be stored directly in Citrix ShareFile. So you get all the security and collaboration features that are available there. This is the announcement. This is the follow-up of what they announced at Citrix Synergy earlier in the year in mid-May. This is that actually shipping now. So you can go up to YouTube. You can watch a 5-minute demo of them doing this. So here you can see the Sony digital paper tablet and this icon here on the left for ShareFile, and you can see that you can access all of your ShareFile folders and bring them up here on the Sony digital paper tablet. So again, really interesting announcement from Citrix. Our final story of the day from Microsoft is some changes to the OneDrive for Business product that they do. The first thing that they announced today is some changes to the storage plans. So unlimited storage for these various different plans. It's kind of complex. There's a lot of different Office and OneDrive and SharePoint plans available to Microsoft customers. I know I'd love to see that simplified, but that's not the point of today. Anyway, if you're in one of these various, what do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 various plans, you are now given unlimited storage. The way they're actually doing it is they're going to move existing plans that have 1 terabyte of storage up to 5 terabytes of storage. Then if you actually need to go past that 5 terabytes, you can call Microsoft support and be upgraded to unlimited. So it's a tiered sort of plan. They're not giving you unlimited right away, but they're giving you 1 terabyte. I don't foresee a lot of use cases for requiring more than 1 terabyte, but if you do need it, there you go. They'll give that to you. The other big part of today's announcement is their next generation sync client. So they've done a lot of work on improving the reliability and performance. Okay, sounds pretty standard. I think most new releases of these things from all the vendors are always going to say it's faster and more reliable. They've added selective sync on, which is a good feature. You don't have to sync everything that's in the cloud down to your device. Other tools have this as well. IBM Files allows you to do that selective sync, so good catching up there. Support for large files, 10 gigabytes in size. I guess if you're doing 20,000 10 gigabyte files, you are going to come up here and need this storage limit increase. And then the third, some additions in mobile. I was going to say the third thing, but the addition in mobile support. So they've done some things for their new OneDrive app for Windows 10, and as well as OneDrive for iOS, including things like offline storage, and again, from mobile devices, selectively flagging which files you want to have offline, so you can jump on that airplane, work on your PowerPoint presentation, and then sync that information back up when you land. They've also updated Office Lens, a tool that I really like. It's one of the things that's in my main tool set that I use, almost every day. I use it on an Android device, but this is an update to the iOS device where you can now sync the content that you shoot in Office Lens directly to OneDrive for Business. That is not available yet on Android. That will be in the first quarter 2016. So I, as a user, look forward to that, because right now I'm syncing the things that I take into my regular OneDrive account, not my OneDrive for Business account that is part of my Office 365 subscription. If you're not familiar with Office Lens, what it is, it's a tool that from your phone allows you to use the camera to shoot pictures of screens, meeting boards, projectors, etc. It does things like taking the keystone effect out of that, straightening those images. It does OCR to those images, and allows you to create Word documents, PowerPoints, or PDFs directly from the images that you take. So I use it all the time at conferences when I'm taking screenshots of the keynote slides that are up on the large screens. Again, using your phone's camera isn't specifically unique to Office Lens. There's tools like Box Capture that allow you to do some of these things and then sync that information that you take with your camera up to applications stored in Box. But currently Office Lens is a little more advanced. Like I said, things like keystone removal, optical character recognition, and then creating content directly from those like PowerPoint and Word. So there you have it. Quick recap. 3 things today. Box and Salesforce with a lot more integration. Citrix ShareFile with integration inside Sony digital paper, and some improvements to OneDrive for Business, including a brand new sync client that is faster and more reliable and provides offline and selective sync and all sorts of things. So good day for enterprise file sharing, and I hope you, as customers of whichever of these products you use, go out there and upgrade quickly. If you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch with me. This is Alan Lepofsky at Constellation Research. Thanks for listening.